Missing this one or two, perhaps 3 lines of code can absolutely cause you some nightmares, some real frustrations down the road. Joseph from SwiftOtter here with another Knowledge Bite question and answer for you this week. This one would seem of great insignificance. Joseph, why are we even talking about this? This is such a worthless waste of energy here to actually put this video out on the internet. No, this can cause you some real problems. And it's for this reason I feel like it is exceptionally important, because ultimately, while it might be not a problem now, give it 6 months or a year down the road, it can really start causing some headaches. Let's take a look at this question. You are reviewing some code before it is merged into the pipeline. This module overrides the ParadoxLabs authorized.net module to add additional reCAPTCHA checks to the customer account area. Just want to make a quick shout out to the ParadoxLabs team. Those people are rock stars. They have maintained this authorized.net module, I think, since the beginning. I mean, I'm guessing it was released in 2016, 2017. They've maintained it. They have done an absolute outstanding job with it. And now, I was surprised it was, 2, 3, 4 years ago, somewhere in there, that the module became actually free. So I hope ParadoxLabs has worked out a really good arrangement with authorized.net. But it's an awesome module, well written. We use it on every project that it makes sense, obviously, for authorized.net integration. But really, really big kudos to that team for how they have supported it, continued to maintain it, and really made it a great product. So this is the code that we see, and I think it'd be wise we could look through it and see what we might want to add or remove. Have our config element here, module name, sequence. I mean, all of this, I would say, looks fairly decent. Now, let's take a look at the question. What do you note as a problem in this file? Now, we come up with 3 potential problems. Perhaps you spot more, and if you do spot more, please drop that down in the comments below. I would love to sharpen my own knowledge through this if you're seeing other things that should be considered. Take a look at these 3 questions here, or answers, more like. A, the module's version is missing, which will cause problems with the database upgrade. Ding, 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 ding. Yes, there is no version here. Now, I would ask you a question, though. Is this necessary? Well, I would argue that using DB schema is not really necessary. So as I'm thinking about this, as I'm recording this video, I find it actually interesting. I've never actually tried spinning up a new module without the version, without DB schema, etc DB schema file in there. Let me know how that works. Give that a try. Let's see what that does. It's always good to experiment, and I'll be doing that myself here after this video is recorded. The other thing is the versions hail or harken back to the old setup scripts architecture. One of you made a comment in our LinkedIn post that we do every week about this. If you haven't already seen this, make sure to connect with me on LinkedIn. You'll see these pop up into your inbox once a week. The question is this still really necessary? And to my understanding, I do not think I think the version actual attribute became no longer necessary attribute for the module tag as soon as DB schema was released. There's no necessary connection in there. So you can have a module enabled, obviously there's going to be no changes to the database, but if you do want to make changes to the database, you should be using patches as well as the DB schema as well. So in this case, no, I do not think the version is necessary. So A can be crossed off our list. B, the file name is incorrect, which will prevent the module from loading. I tell you what, I have done this so many times. I have put it in Etsy frontend module.xml, or actually more like it's the routers, router configuration. Yeah, I think, or the ACL. I mean, it's so easy to get these in the wrong directories. So, but Etsy module.xml is correct, and we can even take a look over here at my computer here. So we have MailChimp Etsy module.xml. And you'll notice, actually, in preparation for this video, I added in this sequence right here. However, actually, to answer my question previously, I did not have a version in here, so the version was not necessary at that point. So there was my question. It was answered right there in front of me. So we have our sequence, and so this can be added in. And so yeah, I would say there is no, the file name is correct. So I was actually jumping ahead of myself a little bit there. Let's look at answer answer 3 or C here. The original module dependency is missing, which breaks the dependency chain. And this is what I am trying to get at here. You see, while it seems fairly trivial, perhaps unnecessary, insignificant, whatever you want to call it, what happens is Magento uses this sequencing information to say which order should these modules be loaded in. So, for example, if you have a layout XML, which may or may not be in your case have layout XML, but in some cases there would be, or it might be added down the road and it was then missing. You're like, why is this not loading? I don't understand why this is not loading. Well, it could be as simple as coming back to this sequence right here and making sure that we have properly added this module name that we depend on. So then that makes sure that our SwiftOtter MailChimp or our My Brand Authorized Net modifications module is loaded after the original authorized.net module. Something as simple as this missing this can cause a significant amount of headache down the road, and I really hope that this helps you avoid that. Just a little reminder, because ultimately there may be some tools to help you account for this, but in some ways it can be a little bit hard to track. Like, of course, if you scaffold a module, well, great, you can include them then. That's only based off of your estimation. But ultimately, down the road, maybe if you expand the scope of this module a little bit, then it's a little harder to manage. So one thing to note, and I'm doing this off the cuff here, but all the Magento modules have been designed to be pushed to the top of the list as far as the dependencies. So they're the first ones to be loaded, and then it is all the other third-party modules, including your modules, which are then mixed in based off of dependencies. So it is a little less critical. I'm not saying it's not important. It still is important to put dependencies on the Magento modules that our modules customize or extend. That is important, but the most important is if we are specifically extending or customizing an existing a third-party module, we definitely want to have this type of language in there. So there is your knowledge bite for this week. I hope you found this helpful.